Hey guys, you're in a nutshell with me, Ina. Naku, nakatsyempo ka na ba ng hindi magaling na consultant? Okay. Worse, baka nawalan ka pa ng status dahil sa pagkakamali ng iyong consultant. You know, many times, there have been cases, no, na ang consultant, kumbaga, na put into a very delicate situation ng kanilang mga kliyente for issues that could have been easily prevented. Halimbawa, nakakamiss ng deadline sa pagsubmit ng mga kung ano-anong dokumento na kailangan, or maling application pala ang final, hindi akma dun sa situation ng isang aplikante. Yung mga ganong bagay ba? So what do you do when you encounter such? Yan po ang ating pag-uusapan. Kasama ang nagbabalik sa In a Nutshell, Attorney Renz Grospe. Thank you so much, Attorney Renz, for being
here. Kamusta?
Ito talaga si Attorney, sinaati ako lagi. Ikaw talaga. Wait, let me put up again ang kanyang Facebook page ng RCG Legal. Ayan, puntahan ninyo. Diyan po si Attorney Renz, based in Ottawa. Meron din siyang, of course, website. Ayan po, if you have questions for him. Ngayon, actually, I will be transparent na I thought about this topic because I saw Attorney Renz posting about it sa kanyang Facebook account. Diba? Kumbaga, nawala ng status dahil sa pagkakamali ng consultant. You can help out with that. But, sige, before we talk about the options for those na ganyan ang sitwasyon, marami ka bang mga kliyente, Attorney Renz, na ganyan ng problema that you're trying, to help out? If so, what are the common, mistakes na nagawa ng kanilang consultant?
Yeah, actually, right now, ngayong buwan lang na to, I think we have 7 files.
Oh, wow,
So different problems. So, nangyari, yung isang very known consultant, magtuturo pa sa isang college. Na-miss niya yung maling document yung sinend niya.
Oh.
Or, ang ginawa, maling document yung sinend niya, ni-reuse niya yung job offer letter. So, siya, LMIA exam na application. So, nagkamali siya ng ganun. Tapos, instead na aminin niya yung mali niya, ang ginawa niya pa, siya pa yung nag ng reconsideration. Hindi niya inaamin na siya nagkamali.
I see.
Okay, tapos anong nangyari? Nawala na ng status ng tao.
Yun na nga eh. Alam mo, siguro mas concerning if you encounter these types of consultants at a critical time wherein, alam mo yun, sila ang inaasahan mo to extend your status. Kumbaga, konti na lang ang oras mo and then this happens to you.
Yeah.
Kapag ganyan, Attorney Renz, kasi laging sinasabi din ng IRCC, di ba? Whatever application you file, that is ultimately your application kahit pa meron kang authorized, let's say, representative. Kapag ganitong sitwasyon, ano ang pwede gawin? Sasabihin ba ng IRCC, application mo pa rin yun eh. Pwede ba isisi sa consultant? What could be done?
So depende, no? So for example, if you go to court, tapos ang issue ay misrepresentation. The court will say, yeah, ultimately, dapat chinek mo ni-review mo yung mga documents. No?
Okay.
Maraming ganong, kasi very narrow lang yung exemption, ang exception sa misrepresentation, yung honest mistake.
Mm-hmm.
So, meron pa rin naman yun. Pwede pa naman yun eh. Pwede mo naman ipin yung blame doon sa consultant. Pero very narrow lang yung exemption na yan. Where, for example...
Yan, example, sige.
Nireview mo yung... So for example, nilagay ni consultant, naglagay siya ng peking letter of acceptance, for example. Na?
Okay.
So, syempre, ikaw na applicant, may duty ka na tingnan mo din yung ginagawa ni consultant.
Alright.
So, for example, tinignan mo. Tapos, nung pagkatingin mo, meron silang binago.
Okay.
But after you reviewed, may binago si consultant or naglagay siya ng peking documents. So, in that case, merong case na ganun na nakalusot sila na okay, honest mistake to, it was the consultant's fault, no?
Okay.
So, meron naman yung, for example, mga cases na nagagawa ko sa mga caregivers, reconsultation requests. The consultant missed the deadline
All right.
ng restoration.
Okay.
Or meron isang file ngayon na big consultant firm din, known sa Filipino community. Hindi nila tinignan yung deadline. Kinonfuse nila yung deadline ng LAMIA sa restoration.
Oh, all right.
So, kumbaga, sabi ni consultant, tama naman si consultant na within restoration period siya. Pero ang hindi niya tinignan yung LMIA na hindi na valid. But like very big mistake, di ba?
I see.
Syempre yung mga caregivers, like that's one of the most vulnerable workers dito sa Canada. So they trust yung consultant talaga. So in those cases, we've had a lot of success. So we explained na yung ang in-explain namin doon yung balance of power between the consultant and the worker.
All right. So yun, napagbibigyan, minsan, ibig mo sabihin, depende sa pag-present ng case.
Yes.
All right.
Depende rin sa siyempre, every case is each case different yun. Like, pero sa most of my files na nagsasucceed kami, vulnerable, they're caring for someone vulnerable talaga.
Okay.
Like, kunyari, palliative care, yung pasyente or kapapanganak, yung inaalagaan nila. Then, we argue, kung hindi nagkamali si officer, si consultant, hindi niya na-miss yung critical deadlines, pag-submit siya ng restitution. May mga ganun.
Yeah.
Pag naman na, kunyari, wala na talaga na loss of status na. No?
Oo, yan na nga. Paano? Nawalan ka na ng status, isipin nila, attorney. Alis na ba ako? What can they do?
Hindi pa na alis, no? Punta ka ng TRP, no? Pwede ka pa naman you can still regularize your status.
How?
So, through TRP, temporary resident permit. So, you show compelling needs versus minimal risks. So, compelling needs, doon na yung sinasabi ko kanina bago tayo nagsimula. I strongly recommend sa mga clients ko to file a complaint sa College of Immigration Consultants in Canada.
CICC, yan yung regulate sa mga consultants.
Exactly. Kasi bakit? Then, you have kasi di ba compelling needs ang legal test. Then, you can use that, one of the compelling needs to stay in Canada. No, so that's one. So, you can file administrative complaint.
Okay.
I also suggest sa mga kliyente ko, file kayo ng small claim against your consultant or ghost consultant.
Okay.
So, para you can say, okay, I have to be there kasi may mga court proceedings ako to attend to.
I see.
So, pero part lang yun ng arguments.
Yeah.
So sa TRP, so kailangan mo kasing ipaliwanag yung minimal risks. So then, ang argument mo doon, out of control mo yung nangyari.
Okay.
Kasi nagbayad ka, you trusted a professional, so akala mo everything is being done correctly.
Okay.
So yun yung pwede mong argument doon sa risks, no? Sasabihin mo, there's a minimal risk kasi out of control ko yung nangyari. Pwede mo yung i-argue doon, and then, pwede mo din yan, kunyari, matagal ka na doon sa Canada, and then, gusto mo mag-apply ng permanent residence based on humanitarian and compassionate reasons. You can also use that argument na si consultant or ghost consultant or yung lawyer ang nagkamali sa papel mo. He trusted yung tao na yun. Sometimes, ghost consultant versus consultant or yung lawyer. Ang korte, mas tinitignan niya, kunyari, pag ghost consultant,
Mm.
ang korte, ang sabi niya, kasi eventually, ano mo yun kumbaga, duty mo yun na tignan kung si consultant mo ay
Authorized.
or not. So, um, mas stricto ang korte sa ganun. They don't say, you'll have, most likely you'll have like parang bad decision pag ganun. Pag
Oh, I see.
pag pumutak sa korte.
Okay.
Pag kapag consultant yan or lawyer na authorized,
Yeah.
mas magiging pabor ang korte sa iyo.
Oh, all right. Guys, again, kapag
Professional talaga yan, di ba?
all right. Kumbaga, siguro the court would frown upon you securing an unauthorized consultant, aka ghost consultant. Kasi usually, guys, hindi i-declare yan ni ghost consultant na kinuha mo siya kasi nga, wala siyang authority to be a consultant.
Exactly.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Very common dyan sa Filipino community yung malalaman mong ghost consultant yan pag hindi based dito sa Canada. Tapos kapag sinasabi nila freelance, ganyan.
Yeah. Ay, nako. Okay.
Freelance writer. Gawa ng letter of intent, ganun.
Yeah.
Also the ghost consultant. And most of my files are like that. Naggawa ng letter of intent na walang basis sa batas or kumbaga kinopy-paste na lang nila and then yung file ng that nilang kliyente ang nilagay na dun sa
At feeling ko, Attorney Ren, sometimes pinaiisisikutan pa yan ng ilan to save themselves from any accountability sakaling magka-problema yung applicant. Even authorized consultants, correct me if I'm wrong, meron akong parang alam na kwento, valid RCIC? Meron siyang tinulungan na tao makapunta dito with the LAMIA, etc. Pero hindi niya dinideclare na siya ay authorized, siya ang paid representative. So parang lumalabas DIY si applicant. And then nagkaroon ng problema, hindi ngayon masisi kasi wala nga siyang declaration. Parang gano'n, Is that a common situation? Tama ba yung intindi ko na parang ginagawa yan to save themselves of any potential problems in the future?
Very common yung ganyan.
Yun na nga Bawal yun na in a way, di ba?
Cannot do that.
Oo.
Well, at the end, kasi sinasabi ko, like, in that case, kung pupunta ka ng korte niyan, sasabihin ng korte, at the end, ikaw dapat ang nag-check.
Yun na nga
As an applicant.
Yun na nakakainis,
pero kung pwede mo naman siyang like, kunyari, may mga retainers yun, or...
Yeah, if you paid, if you have a contract.
May mga communications kayo dyan sa email, or sa Messenger, or WhatsApp, ang pinaka-common. Messenger and WhatsApp ang communications. Then you can probably pwede mong sabihin na meron kayong contractual relationship.
Yeah, and you assumed maybe that everything was in order when this authorized person did it. Okay. Sige, back lang tayo, balikan ko lang yung kanina sa TRP pala, Attorney Renz, You mentioned, get a TRP after they, let's say, file a complaint with CICC or also file a case sa small claims court and then request for a TRP. From TRP, sabi mo, maaari move forward with humanitarian and compassionate grounds for PR. But we all know that you can only apply for HNC. Ideally, kapag matagal ka na dito, established ka na dito.
Establishment.
Okay. So, kunyari, hindi ka pa ganong kaso, like 2 years, sandali ka pa lang dito, and you don't think you have a strong case for HNC. Naka-TRP ka na.
Yeah.
How do you move forward with that? How long would that situation be na pwede ka munang TRP for how long with the pending cases filed? And then how do you eventually work on having a more permanent status?
Yung TRP renewable naman siya. Pero the catch is dapat meron ka pang compelling reasons ulit.
Ongoing pa yung kaso.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
So usually, kaya nga sabi ko dapat mas maraming complaint.
Okay.
No? Sometimes, sometimes may mga consultant din that what they're doing amounts to fraud in criminal sense. So, pwede rin yun. Then you can be a witness. And you can
All
use that as a reason for a TRP to stay in Canada.
Okay.
Pero one of the reasons, okay? There should be a more compelling reason. No? Kasi pag nasa TRP ka na, discretionary, more on discretion ng officer.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
hindi lang pwede yung isa ka lang na isang reasons ka lang, sa multiple reasons.
All right. Okay, so at what point naman do you think, attorney, can they maybe apply for PR? Kunyari, kasi I understand sometimes, kunyari mag-file sila ng case sa CICC against a consultant, you've mentioned to me, medyo napakatagal nun, sometimes it could take years.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
so basically, kunyari, kung caregiver ka, tapos you lost your status, no? And then, you were able to regularize your status through TRP. So usually TRP, lalagyan mo yan ng open work permit.
Yeah, all right.
LMIA-based work permit, ganyan. So then you can work. So then, of course, pag ka na, yung status mo na regular na, no? Then, pwede ka mag-apply ng PR.
Okay.
Through the, regular pathways.
Will the pending cases have any effect on that? Kung mag-apply ka ng gano'n?
No, not necessarily, no.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Tapos, attorney, bakit hindi option ang restoration? Ano ba yung 90 period na restoration period? Ano yun? How does that play when it comes to losing status because of
restoration naman? Yeah, you can do it. You can do it, no. Depende, no. Kunyari, sa TRP kasi kapag wala ng restoration period.
Talagang tuluyan ka nang nawala ng status.
No?
All right.
Ang restoration naman kasi may 90 days grace period yun.
Okay.
Na, kung worker ka, you can come back to being a worker, or you can go to study permit or visitor. Or kung study permit ka, you restore first as a study permit, and then go ka ng PGWP or
I see.
work permit. Ganun.
Okay. Pero in this case, pag naloko ka ng consultant mo, is it an applicable step, yung pag-restore? Parang hindi. Is it?
If you are within the 90 days, then you can...
All right. Okay.
Pero meron akong isang case na was actually a caregiver program. We recently won that file. Ang nangyari sa kanya, nag-apply siya sa old caregiver program to. Caregiver program gaining experience. Now, usually dapat yung consultant mo, i-apply ka niya ng restricted open work permit. And eventually bridging open work permit, ha? So, nakalagay sa kontrata nila. So ngayon ang ginawa ni consultant, nag-apply lang ng caregiver program.
Okay.
So eventually, akala ni hindi siya nag-renew ng LMIA, di ba? So akala niya kasi nakasubmit na yung open work permit niya. So thinking meron na siyang maintained status.
Naku po.
And then for 1.5 years, wala pala siyang status. 1.5 years, ha?
Grabe, no? Di niya. Ang tagal na nun. So much time has passed na.
Pinadalan siya ng ngayon? Pinadalan siya ng procedural fairness letter. Sinasabi, kung wala ka mapoprove na meron kang status dito, kailangan mong umuwi mag-exit.
Yeah.
Para magtuloy-tuloy yung PR mo.
Naku po, nagulat siya.
So, ang ginawa namin doon sa file na yon, so nag-response kami sa procedural fairness letter using humanitarian and compassionate grounds. And our main argument there would pin the blame on the consultant. Na first, hindi na siya nagko-communicate. Lang siya, like lagi nag-ask ng update yung kliyente namin, Hindi na siya nag
Yeah. And you have proof of that, kumbaga.
Oh, I proof of that. Tapos may kontrata kami, may may mga previous messages, no?
Mhm.
So yan, we won. Nagtuloy-tuloy na yung niya, permanent residence niya. Meron din kaming file, misrepresentation naman ang nangyari.
Mhm.
Study permit, ganyan. So,
Anong nangyari?
nangyari naman doon, sinadmit ni kliyente lahat. Sabi niya, may criminal record ako, may charges ako, ganito, ganyan. Meron akong traffic violation, parang gano'n. Reckless driving sa Pilipinas.
Alright.
Sinabi yun. Tapos hindi naman, ang ginawa ni Ghost Consultant, ito Ghost Consultant to. Ang ginawa ni Ghost Consultant, hindi niya dineclare yung charge.
Oh, okay. Nakita ngayon.
Nakita ngayon. So pinadala sila ng PFL
Nice.
for misrepresentation and criminal inadmissibility.
Yeah.
Yun.
Ay, nako.
So we were able to successfully get yung study permit niya. Mas matagal nga lang.
Yeah.
Kami mga 8 buwan.
Okay. So guys, no, if nangyari sa inyo to, sa mga nanonood, nawala kayo ng status because of, errors made by your consultant, may hope pa naman.
Yeah.
Okay. Depende yan, case to case.
Case to case, yeah. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes, reconsideration request will do the job. Or
Yeah.
sometimes, kung wala na talaga, hindi pwedeng i-appeal sa judicial review, then you go TRP or humanitarian and compassionate grounds. Or you exit the country and then return na lang. Pwede rin yun.
Kasi pag ganitong situation, attorney, would you advise, kaya pa ba ito na i-DIY nila?
No.
Na mahirap, ano?
I don't recommend it.
Baka sabihin lang kasi nila, guys, alam mo naman, attorney, sabihin nila, syempre sabihin ni attorney rin siya dahil abogado siya, di ba? But, kasi I think you will have to go to court in some cases, right?
In some cases. You have to go to court. In some cases, you have to file a complaint.
Mm-hmm.
Di ba? Some cases, sometimes you don't know yung threshold.
Yeah.
Di ba? So, mas complicated na kasi kapag ganito, pag nalaso yung status mo or kunyari, nasa restoration period ka pa din.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes meron dyan yung parang bad advice naman, no? Sabi ni consultant, pwede ako mag-work.
Oo.
Pag nag-work ka kasi, unauthorized work, tapos gusto mo na mag-renew, may 6 months ban ka.
I see.
So, ito nakikita ko to lagi sa mga students.
Mm-hmm.
Yung mga students, akala nila, okay, valid pa yung study permit ko, tsaka yung co-op work permit ko. Pwede pa mag-work, yan.
Mm-hmm.
Pagka-graduate mo kasi, pag na-complete na yung studies mo, invalid na yung study permit.
Mm-hmm.
Although may 90 days ka pa to stay. So, dapat kailangan mo na bago ka makapag-work ulit, dapat nakapag-apply ka ng work permit, either LMIA or PGWP.
Mm-hmm.
Ang madalas na nare-receive nila sa consultant nila, ay valid pa yung mo. Work permit. Ngayon, tuloy-tuloy yung nila, yung work nilang ganyan. Tapos, hindi lang dinideclare yung unauthorized work or malalaman na lang ni officer, papadala ng PFL, ganyan.
Ay, nako. Oo nga, no? Minsan talaga mahirap if you solely depend on, things being relayed to you sa yung consultant. Kasi, although I can't blame them naman din, no, attorney, because hinire nila yan, They assume that these people know what they're doing and then, wala eh.
There are, I'm not, hindi ko binabawd mo itong consultant.
Oo, maraming magagaling.
Maraming magagaling na consultant. Pero marami din talagang bad actors.
Yeah. I agree.
Ito naman yung ghost consultant, Ate Ina. Ito yung ibang klase ito. Ito yung mga agency kuno.
Okay.
Na sasabihin or mga mga placement agency or mga tawag dito
yung mga malalaki na. Oo, minsan malalaki na yung mga yan.
Mga agent unauthorized.
Okay.
Pero ang gagawin nila, they will hire an RCIC consultant. So siya lang pipirma pero hindi niya
Oo.
nire-review. Pero ang gumagawa talaga nun, yung agency. Or may mga lawyers din na mga gano'n, yung mga bising lawyers na, okay, pirma lang ako, bigyan kita 500.
Oo.
Yeah, may mga gano'n.
Yeah.
So, again, maraming gumagawa ng ganyan. Be careful with that.
Yeah.
Kasi kahit may lawyer yon, most of the time, the lawyer will just sign.
Yeah.
And they don't review po. No?
Yeah. Ay, nako. I know one recent case na ganyan ng ganyan ng siste, yung nahuli recently in Toronto. According to the complainants, may abogado pala pumipirma because it turns out itong consultant na ito revoked ang kanyang license. Imagine. Okay, last na lang, Attorney Renz, dahil napahaba na ating kwentuhan. Kanina pa ang pinag-uusapan natin, syempre, how to fix your status if you are a victim of this situation. Is there anything you can do also to go after that consultant? Diba? Siyempre, naayos mo na kunyari. Naayos mo na yung status mo. Siyempre, parang nakakasama ng loob eh. What can you do to go after that consultant or at least, makita mo man lang na maparusahan ito dahil sa kanyang ginawa? So
you can always go to their regulatory board, yung College of Immigration Consultant of Canada. So that's one. Problema lang doon, like, takes time.
Yeah.
Medyo walang pangil yung college. It will take maraming cases before they will investigate. So that's one. So admin, no? The other one, yung sabi ko kanina, pag maraming nawala sa iyo, or kumbaga, kunyari, sinabit nila, tapos kumobra na sila ng maraming pera sa'yo. Pwede mo silang habulin sa small claim court.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The other thing na pwede mong gawin, if fraudulent naman yung ginagawa nila, it amounts to sa definition ng criminal code ng fraud.
Okay.
You can file a criminal case.
Sa pulis ka magpunta, ibig mo sabihin. Yeah.
Mas marami kayo, mas maganda.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, may other way yung public court of opinion.
Nako po, okay.
Punta kayo punta kayo sa may mga community organizations na tumutulong mag-file ng kaso.
Mm-mm.
I think there's one file in one case in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
Meron din, yung
I know that.
Milyonaryo na siya.
Nangyari sa Pilipinas yun eh. I think, hula ko lang.
Milyonaryo na, tapos yung sinasabi ko na agency, tapos nag-hire ng consultant. Tapos yung consultant niya nag-turn against him.
Yeah, I saw that report nga sa CBC.
Tapos may mga community organizations in BC, Vancouver, na tumulong doon sa mga biktima to gather documents, no?
Yeah.
So yan.
So those are your options, guys. Sana nakatulong ito sa mga may ganitong sitwasyon. If you want to ask more about your specific case, dahil we all know, alam mo, at iba-iba ang sitwasyon ng kada tao, no? Kada applicant, feel free to email Attorney Renz. Ayan, yung gumagapang sa baba ang kanyang email address. Thank you as always, Attorney Renz. Sa uulitin, I hope to see you again. I will end this episode here. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!
Salamat po.